Hi my dear children, how are you? I think all are safe at home and don't get out of your house because the situation is very critical now, so be alert and careful. Okay? In the last class we have finished the first unit of unit and I think all of you enjoyed these stories in that unit and poem and you have done all the works and sent to me. I am very thankful to you. Okay. Now we are going to the second unit, that is letter to God. Letter to God. Letter to God. Do you think about it? Letter to God. This we can see in the unit. Okay. In this unit, we have two poems and a story. Here, the people, in this unit we can see people who are very innocent and simple. In the first poem, we can see a little girl who is talking to the clouds. And in the second one's a story, it's about a farmer, hardworking man. He is very simple, innocent, simple and innocent. He had a deep faith in God. Okay. Then in the third one is a poem that also we can see a man who is writing a letter to himself. So these are the people who are very innocent and simple people. This unit conveys us about the life of innocent and simple people. Okay. Here in this first one is a poem, Clouds. This is written by Christina Rossetti. Christina Rossetti. Christina Rossetti is an English poet. She wrote many devotional, romantic and children's poems. The poem Clouds is one of the famous poems of her. Then it tells about the this in the form of a talking to the clouds. Okay. In this poem she says about the clouds that can be seen in the sky. She says the clouds are like white sheep. Then before entering to the poem, I am asking you, do you watch the sky? Then what can you see in the sky? What can you see? In a clear sky, what can you see? Yeah, you can see, yeah. What type of clouds? White clouds in the sky. Then can you imagine? Can you imagine that any shape to these clouds? Any shape? Yeah, we can imagine many shapes to these clouds. Then are they moving or standing still? Are they moving? Yeah, they are moving. When do they move? Yeah, when the wind blows. When the wind blows, they are moving. And when the wind stops, what happens? Yeah, when the wind stops, they are standing still. Here the poet says that the poet imagines that these white clouds are like white sheep. These white clouds are like white sheep. She addresses these white clouds as white sheep. This poet addresses the white clouds as white sheep. Okay. Then she says, these white clouds are standing still when the wind stops, and when the wind is standing still on a blue hill, and when the wind blows, they are moving slowly. These clouds are moving slowly, or the sheep that she imagines that these white clouds are like white sheep. So she says that these white sheep are moving slowly. Okay, then we can go to the one. Okay. White sheep on a blue hill, when the wind stops, you all stand still. When the wind blows, you walk away slow. White sheep, where do you go? This is she is asking a question. Okay, where do you go? Okay, then listen. White sheep on a blue hill. She says, white sheep. She says, she addresses these white clouds as white sheep. She addresses these white clouds as white sheep. Then she asking, white sheep, where do on a blue hill? You are standing on a blue hill. You white sheep, you are standing on a blue hill. When the wind stops, you are standing on a blue hill. Okay. You can see in the picture, the first page of this unit, we can see the picture. Then these clouds are like white sheep standing on a blue hill. Okay. White sheep on a blue hill. When the wind stops, you are on a blue hill. You are standing on a blue hill. When the wind stops, you are standing on a blue hill. You all stand still. When the wind blows, you walk away slow. When the wind blows, you begin to walk away slowly. You begin to move very slowly. When the wind blows, you begin to move very slowly. When the wind blows, you walk very slowly. You begin to move very slowly. What happens? When the wind blows, these white sheep, they begin to move slowly. And when the wind stops, they stand on a blue hill. When the wind stops, they stand on a blue hill. That is happening. Then she says, why? Then she is asking a question. White sheep, where do you go? Where are you going? Where do you go? This is only a simple and very small poem. Okay. Then there are two questions here. Who is the poet talking to? I think all of you got the point. Who is the poet talking to? Yeah, you are right. Who is the poet talking to? Yeah, very good. The poet is talking to the clouds. The poet is talking to the white clouds in the sky. Okay. Who does the poet addresses as white sheep? Who does the poet addresses as white sheep? Then you know the answer? Yeah. How can you write? The poet addresses. Does addresses become addresses? The poet addresses white clouds as white sheep. You got it? The poet addresses white clouds as white sheep. All of you got the answers? Okay. Then you should write it in your, this poem and this question answers you should write in your notebook. Okay. Then shall I go to the next part of this unit, that is a story, The Pleasure of Rain. The Pleasure of Rain. The Pleasure of Rain. What do you mean by the pleasure of rain? Do you feel the pleasure of rain? Okay. Then, how do you feel? Do you want to get outside when it rains? Okay, all of you like, I think. Children like it very much, the pleasure of rain. All of us enjoy the rain. When the raindrops touch our body, we feel very happy. We feel very fresh. Okay, like that. Here, we are going to know about we are going to study about a man. His name is Lencho, who is a farmer. Lencho is a farmer, very hard working. He is very hard working. In the text story itself, the story itself, we can see a sentence, he is an ox of a man. He is an ox of a man means he is very hard working. He is very hard working, and we can see he had a deep faith in God. He had a deep faith. His faith in God was such a strong. He had a deep faith in God. So then we can see his story in this chapter. Okay. Do you talk to the rain, flowers, birds and clouds? You children, I know you like to talk to the flowers, birds and butterflies and rain, like that things, natural things. Then do you like it? I am sure, because you children can talk to these things because you are very innocent. You are very innocent, so you can talk. You like to talk to birds, butterflies, rain, like that things. Here we are going to study about a man who likes to talk to the rain. Here is the story of a man who talked to the rain. This man, this Lencho, he likes to talk to the rain. He likes to talk to the rain. Okay. Then I am reading the first paragraph. All of you look at the book and follow me. Okay. The house, the only one in the whole valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with flowers that always promised a good harvest. In the first paragraph, we are familiarized with the character. Who is our character? Then where is his house? Who is our character? Lancho. Then where is his house? You know, you understand? The house, the only one in the whole valley. In that whole valley, there is only one house. There is only a single house. That is this Lencho's house. There is only one house in that whole valley. That is this Lencho's house. Where is it situated? Sat on the crest of a low hill. It is situated. It was sitting. This house was sitting on the crest of a low hill. Crest means top part of a low hill. Crest means top part. Top part of a low hill. Top part of a low hill. This, where is the house situated? Or where was his house sitting? Yeah, his house was at the crest of a low hill. It was a small hill and his house is situating on the top of that low hill. On the crest of a low hill, from this height, from the top part of it, from this height, from that hill, from his home, this house is at the top of the low hill, then he is very high from the lowland. Okay, then from this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn. From that height, from his home, from the height of that low hill, one could see. What can we see? One could see the river. We could see the river and the field of ripe corn. We could see the river and the ripe corn surrounding that. Okay. One could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with flowers. But how was that cornfield? It was dotted with flowers. It was covered with the flowers. That show that he would get a good harvest. That promised a good harvest. This cornfield which was covered with the flowers, corn flowers, that always promised a good harvest. That ensured a good harvest. Okay, this cornfield that filled with the flowers or covered with the flowers promised a good harvest. When we see this cornfield, we are sure that, or when anybody see this cornfield, they are sure that that year he would get a good harvest. That ensured a good harvest. This field ensured or promised a good harvest. Okay, once again I am reading the paragraph. The house, the only one in the whole valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. Where was his house? Yeah, it was at the top of a low hill. It was at the top of a low hill. From this height, from his home, from that height, one can see the river and the field of ripe corn. One can see the river and the field surrounded that hill, and the sea and the river and the field of ripe corn. The corn was very ripe. Ripe means ready to be fully grown up and ready to be cut down. Ripe means fully grown up and ready to be cut down. Fully grown up. This corn was ripe. It was a ripe corn. It was fully grown up and ready to harvest, ready to be cut down, Okay. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn covered with flowers that always promised a good harvest. When we see this cornfield, we are very sure that he would get a good harvest. Harvest means an act of cutting and collecting crops. Harvest means an act of cutting and collecting crops. Collecting crops. You understand the point? Understand the first paragraph? Okay, am I going to the second paragraph? In the first paragraph, the cornfield, the Lenjo's house and how was his field and how was it is described. His house was the crest of a low hill and his cornfield was ready, ripe. His corn was ripe to be cut down. It was ready to. It was very ripe and it promised a good harvest. Okay. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour or at least a shower. Throughout the morning, Lenjo had done nothing else but look at the sky towards the northeast. Now we are really going to get some rain, woman, he said. Then the first paragraph is over. Then the second paragraph, we can see what was he doing. What was he doing? The only thing the earth needed was a downpour. The earth now needed only a downpour, only a rain or at least a shower. At least a shower means a spray of water or a small rain or spray of water. Then it would be very helpful. This rain would be very helpful for the cornfield, for his harvest. For his harvest means he would, if he get a rain at that time, if he got a rain at that time, it would be very helpful for a good harvest. He would get a good harvest. Okay. The only thing the earth now needed only a rain, or it would be a downpour or at least a shower, or a rain or a heavy rain or at least a shower or a spray of rain, spray of water or a spray of rain, spray or a small rain. Then it would be very helpful for getting a good harvest. This rain would be very helpful for getting a good harvest. So, as a farmer, you know, farmers are always thinking about their crops. Like that, here our Lenjo also was thinking about his crops. How would it, if I get oh God, please give me a rain. If I get a rain, it would be very good for my harvest. Please help me. Like that, he's praying and he's looking at the northern sky. Okay. Throughout the morning, throughout the morning, Lenjo had done nothing. He hadn't been doing anything. Lenjo had done nothing means he had not been doing anything. He hadn't done anything else but look at the sky. What was he doing? He was looking at the sky. He was looking at the sky towards the northeast. Where was he looking? He was towards the northeast. He was looking at the sky towards the northeast. Why was he looking at the sky? What was he expecting for? You know, what was he expecting for? Yeah, you are right. He was expecting for a rain. Then he was looking at the northeast part of the sky for knowing or for understanding if there are any clouds in the sky, if there are any signs of rain in the sky. Okay. Look at the sky towards the northeast. Then he would have shown or he would have seen some clouds in the sky. He would have seen some clouds in the sky. So he was shouting or he was saying aloud, very happily. He was saying aloud. What was he saying? Now we are really going to get some rain, woman. Now it is going to rain. The God heard our prayer. The God heard our prayer. Now we are really going to get some rain, woman. He said, he is shouting to his wife. He was saying aloud to his wife very happily. He is saying, now we are really going to get some rain. He shouted. And the woman, what was she doing? What was she doing? Yeah, you are right. What was she doing? Yes, in the next paragraph, that is we can see. The woman who was preparing supper, what was she doing? She was preparing supper. She was preparing food. Replied, yes, God willing. What was her reply? What was her reply? Yes, God willing. God wished so. God heard our prayer. God heard our prayer. So, God willing. God wished so. God give us rain. Okay. During the meal, then they are having the meal. Then when after some time they are having the meal. During the meal, big drops of rain began to fall. What happened? Big drops of rain began. The rain started. During the meal, the rain started and big drops of rain began to fall. Huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. Have you seen it? When it rains, huge dark mountains like clouds. Huge dark mountain shaped clouds are coming together, are approaching, coming near, are approaching. Approaching means coming near. Approaching means coming near. What type of clouds are approaching? Yeah. What type of clouds? Huge mountains of clouds. Huge mountains of clouds would be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. All of you know that when the rain comes, the air becomes fresh and sweet, and in the sky we can see dark huge mountains like clouds are coming near. All of you know that. Okay. Then like that, there also in the northern east part of the sky, he could see the huge mountains of clouds are appearing, and the air became, when the raindrops began to fall, the air became fresh and sweet. Okay. Joe was very happy. How was his? How he felt? How he felt then? He felt very happy. He felt very happy because he was intensely. He was very sincerely wishing for a rain. He was very intensely or sincerely wishing for a rain. When he got it, he was very happy. He was very, as a farmer, he wished to get a good harvest. That would be possible now. He would get a good harvest now. So he was very happy and he was enjoying that rain very happily. He was enjoying that rain. Then what did he do? We can see in the next paragraph. Lenjo went out to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. What did he do? He went out to have the pleasure of feeling. He couldn't stay at his home. He went out. So he went out to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. When the raindrops fell on our body, what we feel? We feel we feel a very happy. We feel a sweet, fresh. We feel a freshness when raindrops fall on our body. We feel very freshness. Okay, like that. Lenjo went out to have the pleasure, to enjoy that rain, to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. He wanted to get the pleasure of feeling the raindrops on his body. Pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. These are in raindrops. Then he is shouting. Very happily he was shouting. These are in raindrops. These are not very simple raindrops. That's not simple mere raindrops. These are in the raindrops falling from the sky. These are not for me. These are not raindrops falling from the sky. They are like new coins. He felt that they are like new coins. He felt that these raindrops, that are coming from the sky are like new coins. The big drops are tens. The big drops of rainwater are tens and the little ones are fives. He says the big drops are tens. Big drops are tens and little ones are fives. So he was very happy for getting a rain because he thought that he would get a good harvest that year. So he was very happy. Okay. Then we can go to the scaffolding questions. Look at the first question. How do you think Lenjo knew that it was going to rain? How do you think? You know that Lenjo was waiting for the rain. How do you think? Then in the first paragraph, second paragraph we can see the only thing the earth needed was a downpour, at least a shower. Throughout the morning, Lenjo had done nothing else but look at the sky towards the northeast. What was he doing? Throughout the morning, Lenjo had done nothing else but looking at the sky towards the northeast. From that sentence, we are very sure that Lenjo was going to rain. It was going to rain. Lenjo knew that it was going to rain. Okay. Throughout the morning, Lenjo had done nothing. Was he lazy? In the second paragraph, we can see. What can we see? Lenjo had done nothing, only looking at the sky. When we are reading that sentence, do you feel that he was lazy? Do you feel he was lazy? No, he was not at all lazy. He was not lazy, but what was he? His intense desire for getting a rain. He was wishing for a rain. Then this rain would be good for his harvest. For getting a good harvest. So his intense desire for getting a rain is specified here. Okay. Then he was waiting for a rain. That would be very helpful for getting a good harvest. He was waiting for a rain and his intense desire of getting a rain is mentioned here. Okay. Have you watched the sky when it rains? Yeah, all of you watch the sky. How does it look? The sky become dark with huge mountains like clouds. Okay. Then the air become sweet and fresh. The sky, huge mountains like clouds appear or approaching and the air become fresh and sweet. That can be seen when it rains. Okay. The big drops are tens and the little ones are fives. What does Lenjo mean by this? Lenjo says the big drops are tens. When the rain started, when the raindrops are falling from the sky, he says the big drops are tens and the little ones are fives. Then what does Lenjo mean by this? What does he mean? He means that he means that he was very happy. He was very happy in getting rain. He means that he was very happy in getting rain because he would get a good harvest. And so he would get good money. He would get a good harvest and he would get money from that. Okay. Then all of you write these questions in your notebook and read this textbook several times and study the difficult words. Okay. Today I am going to wind up this class and I wish all of you have a nice day. Okay. Thank you.